I guess I'm nostalgia this week because I'm running back to old flavors.
Is this your third?
Second.
Okay.
I'm making cherry Garcia gelato.
Oh, my favorite.
And well, then you're going to be complaining about how I make it if it's his favorite. All right. So here's the formula. 4 quarts of the ice cream blend. I'm going to use the CB350. 20 ounces of dark cherries. And I'm going to throw in 16 ounces of Jeff's chocolate chips. And that's it. It's that simple. But I just said it doesn't matter about the cost. But I will say, when I go to buy, I like to use fresh fruit or fresh frozen fruit. And in all reality, even though we're in Florida, I tend towards fresh frozen fruit because it's picked at the height of freshness. The blueberries were picked in June up in Michigan, and they're the very best, and they're put in a bag. There's no extra sugar or anything else in here. It's just blueberries. I can't get blueberries in January anywhere. There are some fruits you can, and there's a glaring example that we all know. You go out and buy strawberries right now in the supermarket if you can find it, and they taste like cardboard because they've come from Argentina, and they were picked before they were even ripe and then injected with nitrogen to turn them a bright color. They still taste like cardboard. But if I buy it like this, and you can get bigger bags and better bargains, you're going to get a product that was picked at the peak of freshness. Now, in the ice cream section of our supermarkets, Publix, they had the Publix brand and they had Dole, just like you mentioned Dole Whip. They had Dole. Dole is going to be a better, it's still, both are going to be great cherries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, but the Dole product will be graded a higher level, not by taste, but by appearance. So that you could put them into a champagne glass and have your blueberries in there and a little cream over, and it's a nice $9 dessert in a fancy restaurant. The Publix brand may not look as good, but it's the same good products. Just not as pretty looking. So I'm going to put it into a machine that's going to grind them up, so I don't care what it looks like. So
that's a good point. Can I espouse on that for 1 minute?
Please do.
Okay.
And then I need a pound of your chocolate chips.
Oh, okay. Right there. Right there.
Neat.
I'll weigh them out. I'll weigh them out.
What was it? Huh?
What Steve's
store-bought chocolate chips, nothing special.
Well, yes, of course. Everything's special.
Everything's special.
No.
Readily available is what I should say.
Everything's readily available if you know where to buy it.
Okay.
Let me say this. Steve just hit on a very important point, Tony. Very important. When we make homemade stuff using the ingredients we've decided to use, which are mostly from the stores, the color of 90% of our ice cream is beige. That's it. It's beige. We don't add red dye number 2. We don't make Superman ice cream, which is bright red, bright pink, bright blue, bright orange. We don't do that. So the look of it is not important. What are we after?
The taste.
We're after the taste and the consistency and the meltability, the palatability. We're after the sensory experience of it, but not the sight of it. When you go to Baskin-Robbins and they open up that case and there's 16 different tubs there, they're all different colors.
Wonderful world of color.
Yeah, it's a treat for the eyes. But what are you really getting? Chemicals, sure. We could do that. We could go on the shelf and get a little bottle. What did we just make? Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I could make that look like Lucky Charms. But it's not important to me, and I don't want to do it. The integrity of the ice cream or the ices or the cream ice is that it's made from stuff we grew up with. We know the taste. The color, I could care less. When you go to Baskin-Robbins in the morning, the tubs are filled to the top, and they decorate them. The M&M has a few crushed M&Ms on them. The chocolate chip has some chocolate chips. There's some berries on it. After a half hour, that's it. It's gone.
Nobody sees it.
Of
Same
course.
problem with gelaterias. They talk about how the machine decorates it, which is actually just, discharges so slow through some grids that they say, oh, it's beautiful. It's like, well, as soon as you scoop into it, it looks like any other ice cream.
Right.
So you just wasted a lot of time and money. I do make Italian ices with colors, but there's a company called Green Mountain Flavors. Stan Sitton is the president. He's a genius, and he's not in Vermont. He's in Oswego, Illinois, but it's called Green Mountain Flavors. Stan once sent me, and this is on other videos, he sent me concentrated beet juice. And this is when we're back in the Bronx. I said, Stan, I'm in a murder a week neighborhood, and you want me to sell beet Italian ice? And he says, no, Steve. The beets are the reddest thing in nature. You go to cut a beet and your hands turn red. Beets are the reddest thing in nature. We take the beets, we distill out the taste, or we do something to take out the taste, and what we're left with is the beet juice concentrated to use as a color. So when you want to make Superman, which I want to make, my Superman is really, really red. So here's the best part of it. But Millennial Mom comes in, and she's got her 7-year-old daughter with her, and the Millennial Mom's daughter says, oh, I want Superman. Oh, no, you can't have that. That's red dye 40. The owner, me, goes, oh, no, ma'am, that's concentrated beet juice. It's all natural. Whoa, if he's going to all that effort just to make Superman, what's he doing with all the other flavors? And she tells all her friends that this place is all natural, and you just became the big hero of the neighborhood, and you're getting all the talk on Twitter. So there are places when and where to do it, but when it comes to ice cream, I would love to tell you that no, that's not chocolate chip, that's pistachio, because I didn't put in artificial colors. But Green Mountain Flavors can get you most of the artificial colors made all natural quite easily. So that's pretty fun. Let me get going on here. I'm going to use the CB350. This is the largest selling machine in the world, which is saying a lot because Emery Thompsons are the largest selling machines in the world, but this one is the largest seller that we have. And the beauty of it is the price. It's priced to be affordable. By the way, we do everything that nobody else does. My prices are up at my website. You want to see what the current price is on any of these machines? It's right there at the website. That's what you're going to pay for it. Not a dime more and not a dime less. That will be the price. And you call any other company. You call up Capajani or Electrofreeze. Taylor doesn't build batch freezers anymore. We ran them out. You call any of them up, and they're going to say, well, let's put you on with the sales manager. Let's have a talk about this. And then it's, used car salesman city all day long. They're going to try to judge how much money do you have, when are you opening, how fast can we get your payment, all this. We don't do that. We say, we know what it costs us to build it, just like Jeff's ice cream cone, and we know what we have to sell it for. And that's what we do. So that's up there for you too. But let me get going on this. I'm going to pour in the mix. First I'm checking. I don't need any sugar.
Oh, good. How much chips you need?
1 pound, 16 ounces. Or 16 ounces, whatever way you want to do it.
You want minis or regulars?
The minis, please. Isn't that what you just brought? The minis?
Oh, we got both of everything.
Okay.
Not to worry.
The mix is where? Right
the mix is in the sink, or a little bit is over there?
Got it here. Again, if you're watching one of these over 411 videos for the first time, this, what we call mix, it's a terrible term. This is a blend. This is what you would do at home. This is milk, cream, sugar, and skim milk. And that's about it. And this came out of the cow, not as milk, cream, sugar, and skim milk, but it came out as the cow got milked about 4 in the afternoon, and it was sent into the dairy, and then the dairy separated it into milk and cream and skim milk and low-fat milk, and then they reblended it to be milk, cream, skim milk, and sugar, and they pasteurized it, meaning they killed off any bacteria in it. They homogenized it, which just breaks down the fat globules, and then they put it in these bags. All the time after pasteurization, it's been refrigerated. And this only came out a few hours ago out of the cow. And then it's 1 pound, please. This is all fresh product. And then it's delivered to you in these 2.5-gallon bags, 2 to a box, and you turn it into ice cream. If you were going to, people say, oh, I want to make my own blend. Well, do you know the difference between a Holstein and a Jersey and a Guernsey? I don't. I mean, I called the cops once because there was this big four-legged thing standing in my driveway. And I described it to them. They said, well, sir, that's a cow. I said, I don't care what you call it. You got to send a couple of squad cars over here and move it. It looks dangerous. I'm not kidding. That's true. So it's fresh out of the cow. If you owned a bakery, would you have a wheat field out back and a grist mill to make your own flour? Of course not. That's not what makes it great bread. What makes it great bread is you buy the best ingredients and then you formulate it into great bread or great cannolis or bagels. So we're just buying a great blend from a dairy, and now the creativity is in the flavoring. So let me get some more of this mix going. Yes, sir.
If you make a half batch in any of the machines, does it change the time?
Yes, it will. Mike, do these questions get picked up by the new mic?
Yes, I do.
Okay. First off, in the smaller machines, the 350, the 200, the 100. I am leaking.
You got to use the bathroom.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. It's got a little pinhole.
Yeah, that's right. We solved that problem.
Yeah, we did. You can't make half batches in these because there's just so much refrigeration, it's going to freeze to the walls. These have even more refrigeration, but since it's such a big batch, it's more forgiving. We can make a half batch on the 12, we can make a half batch on the 24 or the 44. It will change the freezing time. They will be faster, but not exactly half. So you'll have to watch it. But I contend, and nobody believes me till they get into the business, you're not going to make that many half batches. First off, if you don't have confidence that you can't sell pickled chocolate chip ice cream, and you're only going to make a half batch and see what happens, maybe better you come to the realization that nobody wants pickled chocolate chip ice cream. You know, it's not going to be a good flavor. So you start off with flavors that you think are good, but once you make a half batch, if I had to make a brand new flavor today, and I do it every time I make ice cream here. Jeff's working on his tried and true, and he's always improving them and making new tried and trues. I'm coming up with wacko stuff like Sharknado, and whoops, we're having a little trouble with this bag here.
Hey, you see that on video?
Yeah, we are actually.
It's okay. We're doing fine.
You're not going to make that many. If I had to come up with a new flavor, 3 batches. First batch.
Oh, sit down and enjoy the show.
Ignore him. He's a distraction. Your first batch is going to be your test batch to see if you like the flavor. The second batch is going to be to refine it. Maybe I need a little more sugar. Maybe I need a little less flavor. And the third batch is going to be the one you're going to run with. After that, you're set for the next 40 years of making pickled chocolate chip ice cream if you want. It's because you've done it. It's that simple. You're not. I saw a lot of machines, this one and the smaller one, for people who want to experiment for a year or two. Well, I'm of the Nike generation where we say, just do it. Just get into business. You tell me you've been looking for a used... A guy told me the other day, I've been looking for a used Emery Thompson for 2 years and can't find one. I said, in those 2 years, you could have been making $500,000 a year in business, and you're still trying to find a couple of $1,000 bargain, a couple of thousand off the price of a new machine. You shouldn't go into business.
And who knows who owned it?
Yeah.
How much you need?
4 quarts. Nothing's changed. Thank you, Christy.
No, he's putting it 350.
Not everything we do is wrong.
I almost said you're a man, right?
You know, you came for ice cream and entertainment. If we
And
were
that's
the
what they're
Italians
getting.
in the white dress thing and the hat, and we're measuring with a spectrograph or whatever the hell it's called, you know, boring. At least we keep you entertained. We don't mean to keep you entertained, but we do.
Entertainment's working with you every day.
Yeah, that's true.
I got one of those.
Okay, so the mix is in. I'm going to start this up. I'm going to go to super premium. So I hit make ice cream, super premium, which means I'm going to put less air in it, and start. Now, I'm turning on the refrigeration right away. And
That's just a smaller batch.
it's just this is a
Thanks,
smaller
Kristen.
version of
Boy,
that.
we're
It does
really-
everything the same. So I'm going to put my cherries in here. After lunch, we're making Cross Bronx Expressway. That's the name of it.
Keep talking.
And you know, since they're not going to get broken up because they're small, I'm going to put the chips in too. I'm sorry, hold on. I can't walk and chew gum. Cherry Garcia. Yes, gelato. Okay, yes? Question?
That's a premium flavor you make.
I'm making it super premium by just putting less air in it. You're right, I'm making gelato. Maybe slow it down even more. Okay, so I'm going to take the speed down to a gelato speed just by tapping it down. Boom. There we go.
The percentage in a gelato is 6 to 8. 6 to 8.
Yeah, but that's arbitrary. I had a person from Italy explain it very well. I said, what air content do you, what air content or fat content do you do your gelato? He said, where in Italy? I go, what? He said, well, Milan is very wealthy. We'll run 8 to 10% in Milan. Rome, 6%. Sicily, 4%. I said, why? He said, because Sicily can't afford the gelato cost what Milan can. So that was the only reason. When gelato first came to the United States, it came to San Francisco. Nobody had ever heard of it unless they'd gone traveling, and not that many people did that back then. And it was 16% butterfat, because that's what they used for ice cream. They didn't know any better. The main difference in gelato is usually a lower fat. Remember, everybody else in the country is making ice cream at 12, 14, 16%. We're doing 10% because it's Florida, and 16% makes you sweat in this heat and humidity. Though you'd never know it today. If you saw the audience here, we're all wearing sweaters, and one of the rare occasions where I wear long pants because I'm freezing. Welcome to Florida. So it's also the flavor. Cherry, I can assure you, there's not a gelateria in Italy that sells Cherry Garcia. They just don't. It's not a gelato flavor. A gelato flavor would be tiramisu, fruta de Bosco, which is this is close to. Fruta de Bosco just means mixed berries. Hazelnut is a big Italian flavoring. Tiramisu, if I didn't mention it. These are Italian flavors. And gelato is a good product. And if I had a full-blown store, and Jeff would disagree with me, and I would disagree with myself, so theoretically, if I had a full-blown store doing a lot of different products, I would have some gelato. But the fact is, gelato has failed in the United States. It came and went. We had this whole big thing back in 2010 where everybody was traveling over to Italy, and I always make the contention, where does a Heineken beer taste better? On a Caribbean island or under the number 4 Mugger Mover subway in the South Bronx where our factory was? Well, obviously that Heineken tastes better on a Caribbean island. You're on vacation, you're on the beach, you're relaxing, minimal clothes. The beer tastes better. When you go over to Italy and you're on vacation, the food is better, the wine is better, and of course the gelato is better because you're on vacation. It has a big influence on how you feel about the food. So everybody came back and everybody wanted to do gelato, and Cappigiani was dying to get into our market, and so they pushed gelato and pushed it very successfully until it failed. And the one reason it failed dramatically, 2 reasons. One was that 35-year-old mom with her 7-year-old daughter walks in, And the child is not pulling on mom's dress saying, "Mommy, can I please have a tiramisu?" That's not what they want. They want the Superman. They want the salted caramel, cinnamon toast crunch. These are flavors people want. So they tried to ram gelato down our throat, and we took it for a while and thought we were being sophisticated. And then we just said, you know what? I don't want a $30 beer. I want a Bud. You know, that's the American way. So ice cream is back as it always should be, and just incredibly solid. If I had the room and could do 6 flavors of gelato, maybe I would. But to do a business around it, that was the other problem. You walked into a gelateria, El Laboratorio in Manhattan, a famous one. There's always exceptions to everything. El Laboratorio does a great job.
Everything in here?
Yeah.
Got everything in there?
Everything's in.
Okay, just checking because I know you're talking.
El Laboratorio does a great job selling gelato, so there's always an exception. But for the most part, America is buying American ice cream. The machine will make better gelato than anybody because we can put the ingredients right in, and they can't. They have to add everything that's coming out. So you end up with only vanilla ice cream with strawberries in it. We have vanilla ice cream with a particle of strawberry for every particle of dairy. So our flavor is much more intense. You were going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't have more cherries anyway, do we?
Yeah, I wish I had more.
Yeah.
I may be short on cherries, but see, this is my learning curve. Next time I'll know to buy 4 bags of cherries. So this is what I do.
Well, hold on
I
a
make
second.
mistakes.
Hold on a second.
You got something? Any questions so far? Yes.
The butterfat content, do it varies in different states?
You can get 10, 12, 14, 16% butterfat in every state in the union.
I want to add this.
Please do.
Okay.
What do you got?
What I don't have is a can opener.
All right.
Now, I tasted it, and it needed more flavor. It needed to be a little bolder. So it's almost done. So how are we going to adjust it?
Did you turn it off?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I turned off the freezer. So how are we going to adjust it? First of all, turn off the freezer, because we have maybe a few minutes left to freeze it up. But it's all the way up to the top here, so we're going to have to take a little off so we can put some cherries in there. And then what we'll do is add this back. We good?
Yeah, let me just get something to take that container out without touching it. You beat me to it. Yeah.
What are the 3 elements? Why are we in this business? Rich, why are we here? Profit. We're here for a profit. That's number 1. The second reason we're here is the art. The art. Your ice cream is going to be different from their ice cream. That's what we're doing now. We're exercising our artistic values.
That's 2. One is 11.
Yes.
Did you taste this before I did this?
No.
Okay. All right. You don't mind, though.
No, it's going to be better. That's great. I hadn't thought of that. So yes, you can get any fat content you want. I have found that the hotter the climate, the lower fat you should go. Because if you go out in a normal summertime down here, it's 100 degrees, it's 100% humidity, and you go eat a big Ruth Chris steak, you're going to come out of there and start sweating and get a stomachache. And we don't want that. People, when they eat too much, like when you go to your Italian restaurant, you go to it once a month. You don't go once a week, because you went once a month and you ate all the antipasto and you ate all the spaghetti and you ate all the garlic bread, and you walk out of there and say, you don't say, oh, I ate too much. You say, oh, Stefano's Italian gelato restaurant makes me feel full. Therefore, I'm not going back for another month. It's really bad marketing. They really ought to be cutting back on the plates a little bit so you leave there feeling that you got your money's worth but not overly full. So that if you do too high of fat content, you're going to leave them feeling full. Now in New York, If you're selling 14% butterfat and I come into town, I'm going to sell 16. Not because 16 is better than 14.
That's what Haagen-Dazs when they opened up.
That's right. I just want to be the richest ice cream in New York. I just want the bragging rights because that's what New York's all about, bragging rights. So that's not a justifiable reason. A justifiable reason is what tastes good and what do people like. So, more questions? Nobody in the back row? You guys awake back there?
No, about fat content.
Yeah.
So in these recipes, does it matter what cream you use?
All dairies are going to shoot for the same percentage. So 16 will have 16% fat in it, but the way they get there could be completely different.
And they'll offer choices, the dairies. You can get 12, 16, 10 from the same dairy.
Yeah, so at first, if you have the ability, bring in 2 or 3 dairies, run vanilla, and see which one you like the best of the 3 dairies. And then once you pick a dairy, somewhere down the road, you bought 12, try their 14, try their 10, and see if you want to improve on it. Yes?
Bubblegum cotton candy, those flavors that people love.
Yeah.
iRice you talked about in a couple of the other videos and stuff like that.
Yes.
And so, can you give us a little bit on iRice again real quick, or are you going to do that later?
No, iRice has been in the Italian ice flavor business for a very long time. And they make excellent flavors for what they're making. I make all natural, but there are no cotton candy trees growing here. So I would probably use an iRice product to make my cotton candy. It's that simple. They have a mango flavor for Italian ice that is fantastic. Mango's a tough flavor. There's a lot of different types of mango in the world. The ripeness is critical, and you can't get a steady supply of mango. So I would use iRice. The person who I know very well over at iRice, his name is Rod Oranger. Rod Oranger's family owned Oranger Flavors up in Boston for many years. He sold the business, retired for about 2 hours, and then got bored and went to work for iRice. He has now been developing ice cream flavors. So he has something up there. I held up this can, but let me show it to you, which means there's exceptions to every rule. This is what iRice calls Bavarian Base. This is the main ingredients. Let me read it to you. Egg yolks is number 1, followed by sugar and some sodium benzoate, which is a preservative that's in just about everything. You add to a 24-quart machine a quart of this to your vanilla, and you have the most incredible custard you've ever eaten in your life. It's absolutely fantastic. So he's developed different flavors. So what you can't find in the supermarket and you really want to make, you can find at iRice. And I like them. And I also try to do everything all natural when I can, yes.
The Mommy's, is it dairy-free mix? Does that come in chocolate as well?
I think it does.
Okay. And since it's dairy-free, does it have a different like freezing point and storing point?
Yeah, dairy-free ice cream is going to run very similar to Italian ice. If you made it from scratch, it would be coconut milk, cream of coconut like you'd use in a bar drink, sugar, and that's it. And so it can be made on your own quite simply and all natural.
Similar to Italian ice at the same temperature as Italian ice would?
Pretty much, yes. It'd be one of those ones that I would put in the corner of the cabinet because it's going to run a little softer than your lemon ice. So put it here where it gets more cold. It's a great product, especially. I'm sorry, what? Is it ready?
No, not yet.
Okay. Now it looks great.
Well, it's got a little tint.
Yeah.
But that's all right. Let me tell you about working with fruit. In my experience, I've made just under 75,000 gallons of ice cream. In my experience, anytime you're working with fruit, it's not enough. The fruit just doesn't give you that bold flavor. Usually the sweetness either. So when you're working about fruit, What did we make the other day? Cherry cheesecake. We made cherry cheesecake ice cream from the Jell-O no-bake cheesecake mix, and then we added a jar of, a can of, just what we put in here. Same thing we just put in here, pie filling, cherry pie filling, because you're just not going to get flavor from fruit. And what we did was we made the cheesecake ice cream, and then we made the variegate, the swirls, which we'll do later today. We're going to make.
I was telling Larry that's the best product that I think that I like the most over the last couple of days. That's the way was my favorite if I had to single one out. It's fantastic.
30 seconds.
Okay. Questions? No? Okay, yes.
What you gonna make? I don't know.
Yes, it's mostly
Nice name.
a yolk. And that's what makes it a custard. A custard by law is, I think it's an egg yolk by volume. And it makes a delicious product. I wouldn't make all my vanilla that way because the problem is you've got people allergic to eggs. So you have to say vanilla custard and then underneath it egg-based so that they know. All right, this is right. Can you turn over here so the camera can see you? There you go. Now it looks nice.
It's a beautiful thing.
Now this machine will do everything the bigger ones will do. Or rather, the bigger ones will do everything this one will do. Yes?
It's not like this. What's it? Green Mountain Flavors.
Yes.
They have extract as well.
He has
like
extracts.
a mango, like the mango you said from
I haven't used his extracts, so I don't know anything about them. I use them, but you can ask them. I use them for the colors. Oh, that's good. You'll like this. And you'll like the small chocolate chips because they don't interfere with it. Sometimes the chips can be so big that you spend all your time trying to crunch them.